Welcome to Random Talk with NG, where real conversations meet valuable insights. I am Ngozi Obiefuna, your host, and I'm here to spark ideas, inspire growth, and dive into topics that truly matter. Let's get right into it and uncover something meaningful today. On today's episode, I have someone very dear to my heart that stop blushing. I will be speaking with someone very dear to my heart, and I've known her for over a year. Yes, I've known her for over a year. So welcome with me, Similoluwa. Simi, you are highly welcome to Random Talk with NG.
I'm honored to be here.
You're honored?
Very honored.
So Simi has been a good lover of the podcast for quite some time now, and I think I'm very happy that we are here. A very jolly good fellow. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the fear of being perceived. But we shall digress a bit. So we'll be discussing the fear of being perceived on today's episode of Random Talk with NG. So, shall we begin? Are you ready?
Yes, we shall. I'm ready. I'm very ready.
You're very ready.
With my many notes and thoughts.
With your many. Let me not even tell them about the big diary.
Yes.
That you have.
I am very ready.
Okay.
I have lots of thoughts on this.
Okay, fine. So since it's something you're pretty passionate about, do you mind telling us what you think about the fear of being perceived? So let's just start from there. Any introductory notes per se?
Okay, so I think I will define it first.
Yeah.
My definition of the fear of being perceived is just like this anxiety around thinking that everyone is like judging you. An anxiety towards being judged or being I almost said being perceived. An anxiety towards being just like seen, of people having like an opinion of you. So like an anxiety where like you walk through life, experience people through a lens of this person is judging me, this person is thinking thoughts of me, and how can I make sure that their thoughts of me is like I can control. How do I make sure that I can control the way they think of me? But it's an anxiety, just like being anxious about being able to control the way this person thinks of you. And it's usually it usually stems from like insecurity, or internalizing maybe comments people have made over time, or just overthinking. Honestly, sometimes it's just overthinking. So, and it brings about like perfectionism, at the end of the day, resentment sometimes. So yeah, that's the gist of what the fear of being perceived is.
That's more like the summary. You're right about that as a summary, because when we delve into the root causes of this fear of being perceived, you find that social anxiety is truly key.
Very.
There's something around perfectionism that is just there. You want to be perfect, and then you're also worrying about what people think about you. And then we'll definitely talk about people pleasing.
Yes, because that's where the resentment mention comes in. It's because like when you people please enough, the end of people pleasing is resentment, because you're just like, it's not you.
It's not you. It's not who you're.
So yes, you resent yourself. You resent the people you were people pleasing for. So even when exactly. So yeah, and I'm going to surprise you. So I came with a pleasant surprise, because I'm sure you thought this was going to be like, we'll talk about being perceived in like serious ways. But I'm going to delve into even things like relationships and how this, fear of being perceived, how it flows into even the people we pick in romantic relationships and even friendships.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So why do you think we fear how others perceive us?
I think it comes from perfectionism. honestly. The long and short of it is perfectionism and wanting to sort of be in control. Like we want to be able to control in the long run. We feel like if people treat us well, like for people to treat us well, rather, if they think good of us, they would automatically treat us well. And half the time, it isn't even true.
Yeah.
A good person will be a good person. A bad person will be a bad person. If you act, somebody that will still not treat you well will still not treat you well.
Oh, definitely.
So I think exactly. I think that is the control part of it. I think it's the control part of it. I'm wanting to control people, thinking that if we're perfect enough, it's like a cause and effect thing. Like if I'm good, people will be good to me too. Or if they think of me well, they would automatically also, be in return good to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's just which never really happens.
It never really happens. You may be lucky enough to find people that treat you well because you're good, but most times it's simply because it's who they are.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Not because of how they want you to see them.
Exactly. I think that another part of the fear of being perceived, which is like a major part for me, is if you're if you're always twisting and contorting yourself into what you think people want, you rob yourself so greatly of finding people who are for you.
Yes.
So, like, for example, if you think that, people will want me people would sort of desire me, be kind to me if I'm quiet, then there are some people, in the world, and I'm saying that from my own perspective as an extroverted person, who sometimes thought that, if I can be quiet, there would be these people that would, be drawn towards me, or they would believe me more when things happen, different whatever reasons. At the end of the day, in the times where I was consulting myself to be this pretend quiet person that I couldn't pretend well to be, I was ridding myself of the people who wanted somebody who was extroverted like me.
Yeah.
Like it was my light. Like when they were going out in the world to look for people to be friends with, to be in, close contact with, they were looking for people like me who like to talk, but if I was trying to be quiet, I couldn't find those people. So it sort of shows up in other ways, maybe even in fashion. It's like, maybe I like to dress simply, or I like to dress loudly, or I like makeup, or I don't like in any of the things that it is we like. There are people that are like us, and for us to find those people that are authentically like us and that they're the perfect match for us, if we are not ourselves, we cannot find them.
So let's delve into the very first aspect, because for me, I think we'll have two segments of this podcast, and the first will be like understanding the fear. We're going to deal with the root causes, and we'll talk about I think we'll also briefly talk about the impact of social media, because we are in a digital age. And then just share our thoughts, our collective thoughts on why we think the fear is so prevalent. Then later on, or even during the course of understanding the root causes and understanding the fear, we will also delve into real life experiences and also the strategies for overcoming this fear. Yes. So let's start with the root causes. What really causes, or where this fear of being perceived stems from. So I know that we have both mentioned something around social anxiety. So we should start with our thoughts on social anxiety.
Yeah. Like, I want to actually hear from you. What are your thoughts on how social anxiety influences it? Yeah.
First, let me remove that social part and just talk about anxiety.
True.
For someone that has dealt with anxiety and due to work and other things, I think that when I think about this whole, fear of being perceived, and when I think about it's just we're anxious to know why or what exactly people are thinking about us. Okay, do they like me this way? Do they like me when I'm all quiet, as you mentioned? Do they like me when I'm all churchy? Do they like me when I'm all jovial? Do they like me when I'm all, extroverted? Or do I just want to belong? In that, I don't want them to see me as though I am a boring person, forgetting that everyone has someone or a group of people for them.
True.
Because my kind of person, you said you are extroverted, but my kind of person is pretty much just stay home, play games, enjoy my Monopoly game, try cooking trying new recipes and all, and then I may just have someone that or a group of people that are extroverted, and because I want to I'm really scared of them making them see. I'm scared of them seeing me as a boring kind of person, not outgoing at all. I'm now, trying to. I'm all anxious. I'm all worked up when I'm around them, and then even when it does not really suit me, I pretty much want to please them, find my way, and I find myself going out of my usual way to try to blend in with them. And yet I'll still be uncomfortable in that situation, because you find people say, oh, let's hang out. And I'll say, no, I'm sorry, I do not like to stay out late. Right? I don't like to stay out late. If you're not picking something that is during the day where I can be home by 6 p.m. unless it's something that I'm sure, okay, I really need to be out late for, then I'm sorry, it does not work well with me. And then you hear stuff like, oh, you're boring, you don't have a life, you don't have this, you don't have that. But for me, I don't think that's pretty much makes sense. Right?
You see the specificity of this fear of being perceived thing. Everything you just described is me. Despite being externally extroverted, like I like to talk and I am just the same way. But if you were not being you, I'm sure that a huge part of what has made us be close as we have been is the fact that I am drawn to the part of you that likes to be a homebody, just as I am. So even if on the outside I look like, oh, I talk a lot and I probably like to, be out late, I don't. But because you are being you, that's why I can see that, like, I think this is my person. But if you were trying to be another person, I'll be like, this is definitely. And then that's how we do. That's how people do not find community. Basically, it's like you find community by being yourself, because people are so peculiar that, like, somebody as extroverted as me is peculiar in that I am still a homebody, and me too, I don't like to stay out late, and I like to also be in my house. And so that's how we find true communities that we are comfortable with, that we are not sort of like performing and feeling uncomfortable, and then when we get home we're exhausted because we're not really being ourselves, is by sort of being ourselves, not being afraid that anybody's going to think of us as any way or any, and just trusting that, like, just as me, I exist in the way I am, there is someone else that also exists. And all these many people, if I wait long enough and stay true to myself long enough, I will find my people.
You know that phrase, man, know thyself, and to thyself true, because most times we find ourselves living a lie. So I know growing up, I used to have a couple of people that I used to, vibe with and all. And then I was drawn to a particular set of people. We're all quiet and we all understood ourselves. We knew where we needed to be at a particular time. And then after a while, I started hanging out with some people, and one man in church called me that one particular day, and he said, okay, I know you used to hang out with this particular set of ladies, but now I've seen you hanging out with this new set of ladies, and I do not think that is the kind of person you are. You're trying to force yourself to be this kind of person when we both know that
that's not
you are not that kind of person. And so he now told me that just try to know yourself. It's that simple. Don't be scared about whether the person or the people involved will want to talk to you. You have this particular set of people that you are just fine with, and you all understand yourself very well. So why do you want to be in that particular group where you are not even, it doesn't fit you? And at that time, it did not make sense. In my head, I'm like, so why don't you want to mind your business? Yes, how sure are you that you're saying the right thing? But over time, I knew, because even much later, my mom was like, oh, this particular set of people you're hanging out with, they are not your kind of people. Like, you are my daughter, I pretty much know who you are and the kind of things you can do. So for your own sanity and for your own good, you'd better detach yourself from that group. And over time, I just found myself just losing interest, because when I sit back and think about it, there's no way I would have been used to that lifestyle, because I did not grow up that way. And it was not something, it was not, those activities were not things that I found pleasure in per se. So I think all those, build up to the social anxiety thing. We want to belong, right? Even when we know that we really typically do not belong in that group or in that set of, people doing those set of activities. So that's my own thought around, the social anxiety thing.
And I'm going to lead it to the apropos side that I wanted to lead it to. Which is, how it plays out in romance.
Okay.
and dating.
Yes.
Which is to say that, because sometimes you hear people say that like, oh, men want this type of woman. So people then find themselves sort of conforming. Oh, men like a woman that is like outgoing, and people like me and you like to stay in our houses. So then you find yourself trying to be like, oh, should I maybe do this thing? And there's like all the plenty advice everywhere on social media. And then you're like, oh, this other person, they seem to be this way. Should I be that way? But there is a sort of tip that my cousin gave me one time. And he was like, you're not looking for many people. You're looking for just one person.
One person.
So it is not your business if the 1,001 people like this thing. It is your business that the one person that you choose to do life with likes what you like, because that's when it is possible for it to grow. So the fear of being perceived sort of in romantic relationships, I think, work sort of turns out in if I'm not, maybe if I don't look domesticated, if I don't say something, I don't know how it plays out on the men's end, but as a woman, it's like, oh, if I don't sort of portray this thing, if I don't look this way, they say men usually like this thing. It's just like rest, because who will like you will like you.
True.
And it will not be because of all the performance you have performed.
You have done pretend, and at the end of the day, you'll be seen for who you really are.
And then it would even look like you were being deceitful.
Some people will still argue that at least you used it to get what you wanted. But,
is it really what you wanted if you are having to contort in the place you should be relaxing? So yeah,
young social anxiety, not emotional anxiety.
Exactly. So like and I think that when you even sort of lie to yourself, at some point you start sleeping up. Exactly.
In fact, honestly, you
start sleeping up. So I think that in every way, I think another thing I used to say to myself is that my maybe grandfather or great grandfather, while he was my age, was probably thinking like, oh, how does this person think of me? How does this person think of me? And now he's long gone. In the grand scheme of life, I think back to maybe like secondary school or university and all the people I was worried about, like how they were perceiving me and how I don't even know where they are in life. I might never meet them ever again, because that is just the nature of life. Like these people in your life right now that like they look like their opinions mean so much. In another 5-10 years, you might not be even in contact with them. So in the grand scheme of your life, of the largeness of your life, nobody's opinion even matters. And then people are even too selfish to think about you as much as you think they are.
Yeah, because
everyone's thinking about themselves.
Worried about them.
Exactly. Like people are thinking about themselves. Even I think about maybe when people are trending on social media, and I'm like, immediately after you scroll past the thing about them, you've forgotten about it immediately. Even if it onto the next gist. Like that's how little people are actually thinking about you. So if you even live your life thinking of it that way, that me myself, I'm not actually thinking about another person 24/7. The max I give them is 2 seconds of my time. I'm like, something, and then I move on to thinking about myself.
Yeah.
Humans are innately selfish. Nobody's thinking about you. Live your life. Of course, be sort of self-aware.
Yeah.
Correct the things that need to be corrected. Work on the things that need to be worked on. But like, nobody should be obsessing over like trying to change to please another person, or like, oh, what's this person thinking of me? Be yourself. Your people will find you.
Yeah.
And it will not matter in another even 5 years.
It won't.
It won't.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Random Talk with NG. Please stay tuned until the next episode as we continue in our robust conversation on the fear of being perceived.